Then welcome to the first part of our journey through the 7 chakras. Today it's all about the root chakra, and it's one of my favorite ones because it's the one I think we need most to balance in our busy lives, and especially in those days that leave us a little bit unstable and restless. And the root chakra, its location in the body is basically the leg area up to the pelvic floor and ends at the tailbone. So it's the very lower part of the body. And the interesting thing is that this lower body part is also connected with the chakra philosophy with our primal force, so the most instinctual force. And it's mostly connected with our basic needs. So it means food, water, shelter, and also kind of the feeling of having connection to people. And I realized that during those days it might be quite hard for some people to have interconnection. And besides this basic needs, it also is connected to this question of, do I belong? So most with trust. With the chakra philosophy, we believe that the chakras are kind of developed from the time before birth and then throughout our life. And the root chakra is the very first one. It's connected to the time we spent in the womb, but it's also the first 12 months after the birth. So it's really kind of the first question a baby has: do I belong? Do I feel kind of taken care of in this family system? So it's a really interesting one because it's kind of really about this: do I trust in life generally, and am I able to take care for my basic needs? But the more I'm able to take care for these basic needs, the more security I have for myself, and that's giving quite a liberation for decisions and own activities. And we mostly feel that this chakra is out of balance if we kind of feel rather restless and having kind of a lack of energy. And the third part is also if we're dealing with a lot of fearfulness, and it could be also a sign for that this chakra is a little bit impaired right now. But when it's kind of balanced, we are feeling kind of an energy, and we believe in ourselves, and we kind of believe in the world, and that we can act in the way we need. So that's when we mostly feel balanced in this chakra. And so today, what this means in a physical practice, we will work with the legs and also a little bit with the sacrum and tailbone area. For most of us, that's rather tense. And I also would like to explore with you today Mula Bandha, which is kind of an energetic lock in our body. And often it's kind of not really introduced in yoga classes, but no, since it's kind of said, engage Mula Bandha. And I don't believe that a lot of people actually know what it is, so we will explore that a bit today. Then let's rock and roll for tonight. And we start lying on a back in a reclined butterfly, so the soles of the feet are touching. Moment to arrive. When you have arrived, you can simply place your hands on top of your belly, close to your hip bone. And then take a moment to sense the weight on the ground of your own body. And our root chakra in Sanskrit called Muladhara is also with the connection to the earth elements. So take a moment to be feeling the earth underneath your body. Inviting the sense of stability and grounding that allows you to let go. And then start to guide your inhale down the spine into your belly. So you feel the soft rising of the belly. And with an exhale, imagine to send the breath out into the earth. Inhaling down the spine, filling the belly softly. And with an exhale, sending the energy out into the earth, growing roots with every exhalation. Take it another 3 breath rounds in your own pacing, finding a little bit of this grounding quality. And then stay in connection with your breath, and you can practice a little while longer while I explain a little bit to Mula Bandha. So Mula Bandha is an energetic lock in our body, and what I like to understand it is more like a point of awareness where I would like to focus my awareness and to have the awareness basically more in the body and less in the head space. And Mula Bandha is located in the pelvic floor area. And we can activate it with the exhalation, and you can imagine it like rolling together your sit bones and drawing your pelvic floor up and in. And for some, it's this gentle sensation. If you want to stop to pee, then it's the same movement, but very, very gently. And we stick for a moment with this inhaling down the spine, and then just come along with me and try on the exhale to find your pelvic floor slightly lifting up and in. And it's a very subtle sensation. Inhaling down in the belly, and exhale, imagine to roll your sit bones together, drawing pelvic floor slightly up and in. Inhaling down the spine into the belly, softening, and exhale, rolling sit bones together, finding your pelvic floor. Go 2 more rounds in your own pacing. And if you haven't found it, don't worry, then just see it as a practice to drop the awareness down into the more primal part of your body. Then take your final round here, hold Mula Bandha for a moment and really feel this kind of grounding force in your body, the stability Mula Bandha can provide. And then let it go. Bring your arms alongside your body, palms facing up to the sky. And then press into the upper arm bones, feeling the slight lift in your chest, shoulder blades coming together on your back. And then start to lift your pelvis off the ground. So it's like a bridge pose, but with your legs still in butterfly. On an exhale, coming down. Inhaling, engaging Mula Bandha while you lift up. And exhale down. Next, inhale, lifting the pelvis off the ground. You can invite Mula Bandha in if you find it. And exhale down. Take it 2 more rounds. Also feeling this nice opening in your hips. And you don't have to lift high. It's more about this movement along the hip. And just emphasizing the exploration for finding Mula Bandha. Then softly land on your buttock, on your back. And then start to extend your legs forward. Then draw the left toes towards you and then guide your right leg towards the sky. Toes also engaged here. And feeling this opening in the right back line of your leg. Start to draw circles with your feet, mobilizing the ankle joint and activating your root chakra really from the lowest part. Change direction. And then start to slowly lower your leg down to the earth. Keep your right toes engaged, sending the heel away from you. And then guiding your left leg up to the sky. You can keep a slight bend in your knee. Feel the activation first of the root line. And then start to draw circles again. Change direction. And then slowly start to lower your left leg down to the earth. With an inhale, take your arms overhead, sending the heels and fingertips away from you. Nice stretch. Feel the space between the vertebrae. And on an exhale, let it go. Then bring your knees to your chest and then softly rock up to all fours. But before we move into tabletop, come to a seated pose for a moment. Tuck your toes in so you sit on your heels. And then place your hands one more time on your belly. And inhale down the spine, and maybe with an exhale, find Mula Bandha again. It's very subtle movement. Inhaling down the spine into your belly, and exhale, finding Mula Bandha or dropping the awareness into your pelvic floor. Take it one more time, inhaling down the spine. Exhale, maybe finding Mula Bandha, drawing pelvic floor up and in. You can stay here with your toes tucked, or you can also release them. But it's a really nice way to wake up the root line. And then with your next inhale, sweep your arms overhead, lengthen. And on an exhale, turning towards the right side. Inhaling up to center. And exhaling towards the left. Inhaling center. And exhale, turning to the right. Stay for a complete inhale and exhale here. Inhaling to center, reaching up, exhaling to the left. Coming back to center, both arms overhead. Then drop your right hand to the floor and lean slightly over towards the right, opening up the left side of your body. Slowly coming back to center and coming to the other side, lengthening through the right side and leaning over. And then slowly we're coming back to center, moving into all fours. Stay at the top of your mat. Hands are shoulder distance apart, toes are tucked. And then we start to move into cat first and start to lead from your tailbone. So rolling your tailbone down and in and finding this rounding. With an inhale, again, leading from your tailbone, dropping the belly towards the ground, opening the chest forward. Again, start from the tailbone to round into your cat spine. Same on your inhale, forward, opening the chest, shoulders away from the ears. Let's take one more round, each time leading from your tailbone. Inhale, lengthening forward. And then we meet at a neutral position with a neutral spine. And then start to step your right foot backwards, really pressing into the toes on the ground until you feel your abdominal muscles slightly starting to wake up. And then start to lift your left knee slightly off the ground. Hover here for a moment. And then stepping back into your plank pose. Hold here. Exhale, bring your knees down to the ground, chin and chest following. Sweeping the arms alongside your body. Next, inhale, lift your chest slightly to protect the lower back. Stay in a gentle back bend. You can also lift your toes slightly off the ground. And then bringing your hands under your shoulders. Moving back into a downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet, your legs. And then coming forward with the hands to the top of your mat. Coming down on your knees for a moment and we switch to the left side. Stepping your left toes backwards, lengthening your heart forward. And then lifting the right knee slightly off the ground. Keep the connection to the breath. Exhale to step back. And then coming down either with knees first or full Dandasana down. Bringing the arms alongside your body on your fingertips. Lifting your chest, engaging your core. Lifting your toes off the ground, feeling the full length of your body, off your spine. Lowering your feet, placing your hand under your shoulders, coming back, and this time we're moving into a downward facing dog. Keep a slight bend in your knees in your downward facing dog. And then send energy through your hands and feet into the earth. Both kind of representing this grounding energy. And with your next inhale, looking forward. And on an exhale, walking up to the front, knees generously bent, belly falling over the bars, neck nice and relaxed. Then start to pull the toes towards you. Feel again the activation in your root line. The legs that are waking up along the back line. Then release your toes down to the ground and then start to roll up through your spine. Rolling shoulders towards your ears and then down your back body. And we're moving into some round of sun breath, feet hip distance apart. And then with an inhale, moving arms overhead. On an exhale, knees bent and folding forward and down. Inhale, finding your parallel spine, chin to chest. Exhale, releasing down. And inhale, lengthening up to the sky. And with an exhale, moving your hands to your heart. Let's take 2 more rounds. Inhale, up and around, lengthening with your breath. And exhale, folding forward and down. Inhale to send your heart forward. And exhale to release down. Inhale, moving towards the sky. And exhale, hands down, center movement. Last round on your own rhythm. And then placing the hands in front of your heart. And if you would like to work with an affirmation for your root chakra, it could be, I feel grounded, I am centered, or I have all what I need. You can pick one if that speaks to you. Take a full inhale to enliven your affirmation. And then after the next exhalation, we're moving into the sun salutations, the complete portion. Inhaling to lengthen up to the sky. On an exhale, folding forward and down. Inhale to send your heart forward. Exhale to release. Plant your hands firmly, stepping back through the left side. Next inhale, move your arms overhead. Exhale, sit deeper. And inhale, open the arms wide. On an exhale, bring your hands to the mat, feel your hands, and then step back, downward facing dog. Inhale to move into plank pose. And exhale to lower down. Inhale, finding a baby cobra. And then exhale, tucking your toes, moving back, downward facing dog. Inhale to look forward. Exhale, step up with your left foot. Inhale, moving arms overhead. Exhale, sit deeper. Inhale, open arms wide to the side. Exhale, planting your hands on the mat, stepping forward, right side. Next, inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale, release down. And then press into your feet, and with an inhale, rise from the earth up to the sky. And then on exhale, hands down in the center. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, folding forward and down. Inhale, parallel spine. Exhale, release down. Plant your hands, step back right side. Inhale, bring arms overhead. Exhale, sit deeper. Inhale, open arms wide. Exhale, bringing hands to the mat, stepping back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come into your plank. Exhale, start to lower down. Inhale for your baby cobra. Exhale to tuck your toes, moving back, downward facing dog. Next, inhale to look forward. Exhale, right foot forward. From here, with an inhale, arms overhead. Exhale to sit deeper. Inhale, open your chest. And exhale, bringing your hands to the mat, stepping forward, left side. Next, inhale, lift your heart forward. Exhale to release down. And then inhale, rise from the earth. And on an exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Next, inhale, reach up and overhead. And on an exhale, fold forward and down. You stay for a moment in this forward fold, knees parallel and gently bend. And allow your upper body to really round forward and down so until you feel some release in your lower back. Allow your head to drop. And then first, lift your toes one more time. Release them to find all four corners of your foot. And then slightly lift on your toes, so lifting your heels slightly off the ground. It might become a little bit of a balancing act. Release your feet down. From here, start to straighten your legs. They don't have to be perfectly straight, but see if you can find a smaller bend in your knees. Imagine to roll your thighs slightly out to the side. That's creating more space in the sacrum area. And then for the next 2 breath rounds, you could again search with your exhale for Mula Bandha. Maybe you find that it's allowing more release downward. Inhale to fill your belly and exhale, slowly drawing pelvic floor up and in. One more time, inhaling, softening the belly, and exhale, gentle movement of the pelvic floor up and in. Then from here, start to plant your hands onto the mat and step backwards with your left leg. Bringing your left knee to the ground, so we're meeting in a low lunge. Then with an inhale, bring your arms overhead. And really open up the chest here. Press into your front big toe. Press into your back toes. Really feel the grounding energy in your legs, and that's providing you the space in the upper back. Allow the shoulders to stay soft. Elbows slightly rotating in. And then slowly bringing your hands onto the mat, lifting your left knee off the ground. Front knee is in the 90-degree angle. And then start to lift your upper body. And then with your next exhale, start to bend your back knee and bring it closer to the ground. Inhaling up. Exhaling again, sitting a little bit deeper. Inhaling up. Go 3 more rounds in your own pacing. Next time you lift up, start to lengthen your upper body forward, and then bring your right hand on top of your right thigh. Turn your left toes to the long side of your mat and opening up. Side angle pose. And then send your right hip slightly back. You can even place your hand on your hip and send it slightly backwards. Feel the steepening here, and then lengthen your left arm alongside your ear. Keeping the awareness in your feet, the connection to the ground. And then with your next inhale, come to a warrior 2 pose. Draw your heels to centers if you want to crumple the mat between your feet. Feel again the activation in your leg muscles, providing the roots to grow down into the earth. Roll your knees slightly more to the side. It likes to roll in. And then straighten your front leg. Grab your right wrist with your left hand and leaning over towards the left. And then start to bend your front knee again and let your knee glide forward as if on railway lines. Then it more to the side, to the outer edge of your mat. Feel the integration in your hip joint. And then slowly release your arms. And we start to walk forward towards the left corner of the mat. Arms more than shoulder distance apart. And first see that you lengthen your heart forward so upper body stays active. And same action we had before, imagine to draw your right hip slightly towards you. Then allow the upper body to surrender towards the earth. You can have your hands completely on the earth. Feel the opening around the hip joint. And then slowly walking forward to the short edge of your mat. Turning your left heel so it faces the back side of your mat. And then from here, turning your left or your right knee forward. And we arrive in pigeon pose with your right knee pointing forward and your right heel rather close to the pubic bone. For most of us, that's the easier version. And then start with your hands under your shoulders and open your chest here. You might feel a stretching in your left hip flexor. Even if you feel the openness in your chest, see if you can inhale in your belly and exhale, maybe work with your Mula Bandha. 2 more breath rounds here. And then walk your hands forward, come onto your fingertips. With the exhale, lower down. And then with the inhale, leading from the tail, rounding up through your chest. Opening the chest on the inhale. Slowly moving towards the ground again. Leading from the tailbone, rounding up. One more time, coming forward. And then starting to lead from your tailbone. Then walk your hands back under your shoulders and we're moving back into a downward facing dog. You can pedal out your feet again. Then next, inhale to look forward. On the exhale, stepping up with your left foot to the front this time. Bringing your right knee down to the earth. With an inhale, lifting your upper body. And then again, exhale, sink a little bit deeper and inhale, lengthening up. Exhaling, sitting deeper. And inhale, lengthening up. 2 more times like this. I can see that my video is frozen, at least on my part. And then slowly start to bring your hands down to the earth, tucking your toes and re-lifting the right knee off the ground. And then from here with an inhale, bring your arms overhead, front knee over front ankle. 3 times with an exhale, bringing your knees slightly to the ground. Inhaling to reach up. Exhale, coming deeper. And inhale, lifting. And then from here, we're transitioning into side angle. So turn your right toes to the long side of your mat. Keep the front 90-degree angle. Bring your left forearm onto your thigh. Right arm alongside your ear. And then draw your thighs energetically together. Feel the stability through your feet and legs. Feel the life force running through your root line. And then from here, we're moving into a warrior two pose. Again, draw the thighs together. So if you want to crumble the mat between your feet, draw your navel slightly in. And then from here, start to grab your front wrist with your back hands. Start to straighten your front leg and leaning over towards the back. Then start to bend your front knee, send it forward as if on railway lines. And then see that your left knee is slightly moving more to the side than you think. And then imagine to draw the leg back into the hip joint. That's a slight integration in the hip. And slowly releasing your arm. And then we're slowly walking forward towards the front corner. Keep your hands more than shoulder distance apart. Drawing your left hip slightly in and backwards. Lengthening your heart forward. Keeping awareness in your feet. And then for the last 3 breath rounds, allow the upper body to surrender down. Surrender into this feeling of stability you just created through your legs. And then slowly, we're walking back to center towards the short side of your mat. Turn the right heel in. And then we're bringing the left knee between the hands. Left heel close to the pubic bone. Having the hands under your shoulders. And then coming into pigeon pose. Two breath rounds, inhaling into the belly and exhale, walking with pelvic floor, Mula Bandha. Inhaling down the spine into your belly and exhale, engaging Mula Bandha gently. And from here, we're walking the hands forward, releasing down on the inhale. And then exhale, drawing your navel in, starting from the tailbone to dome up. Inhale, open, releasing down all the way. Exhale, leading from the tailbone, start to round up. Let's take one more round. Inhale to lengthen slightly forward, coming down. And then drawing navel in, rolling from your tailbone up into your pigeon. From here, planting your hands firmly, press into all 5 fingers on each side. And then we're moving into a downward facing dog. You can shake out your legs if needed. And then from here, stepping forward with your left foot between your hands. And then turning your toes to the long side of your mat. You're meeting in a fan pose, feet are parallel. And then start to bring your hands on your hip points. And then start first with lengthening your upper body forward. So it's again a parallel spine. Keeping a slight bend in your knees and see if that's providing more length in your spine. Inhaling down into your belly and exhale, sending energy out into the earth. 2 more times. And then slowly start to surrender down. Keep a bend in your knees. And then imagine that your thigh is slightly rolling to the side, and that's creating more space in the area around the sacrum. So thighs are rolling out. Allow yourself for a moment to let go and surrender towards gravity. Maybe you can come back to your affirmation. And then slowly we start to roll up, engaging your navel, rolling up, maybe pausing at halfway, and then coming up all the way. Heel toe your feet in. And then turn again towards the top end of your mat. Your feet are mat distance apart, your toes pointing out to the side. And then take a moment to come down into Malasana, and you can bring your hands in front of your chest. You can stay higher if needed, that's totally fine. And then on the exhale, slowly coming down, and we're moving towards the back. When you have arrived on your back, create the same Tadasana line. So pulling the toes towards you, feeling the engagement in your legs. And then place your hands on your hip bones. And then imagine that you want to put on some pants that got a little bit too small, and you want to close the zipper, so you're slightly drawing in the navel. We're engaging your abdominal wall muscles. Feel this engagement from your abdominal wall down into your legs. How your lower body is fully engaged, your root chakra fully alive. And then start to lift your right leg off the ground with keeping your hip bones level, about 30 centimeters. And exhale, lower down. Inhale to lift. And exhale down. One more time, hips stay level. Muscles stay engaged in your core. And then lower your right leg down to the earth. Reach your toes for a moment to soften and surrender, to just feel the earth underneath you. Also this feeling of being received by the earth, building a little bit of this ability to trust. And when you feel ready, start to draw the toes again towards you. Imagine again to want to close the zipper of a tighter pair of jeans. And then lifting your left leg off the ground about 30 centimeters. Exhale, lower, and see that your hips stay level. So they're staying at the same height and the hip bones are almost not moving at all. Go 2 more rounds in your own pacing. And then exhale, releasing your left leg to the ground. Release all the tension for a moment. Softening and melting into the ground underneath you. And then one last time, drawing the toes towards your shins. Engaging your abdominal wall. Lifting your right leg off the ground, and we're drawing small circles, only as big as you can keep your hips level. I recommend to keep them rather small. Focus more on the integration of your hip and your leg here. Change direction with your circles. And then slowly releasing your right leg to the ground. Again, releasing all the tension for a moment. Take a big breath in and out. One more time with the exhale, melting onto the ground. Toes towards you, feel the engagement in your root line, pulling the sipper, drawing your abdominal wall in, lifting the left leg off the ground, drawing circles. Keep them rather small. The hips stay level. Also change your direction here. And then slowly sending your legs back down to the earth. From here, bring the soles of your feet onto the mat, bringing your right knee over your left as if you cross your legs sitting on a chair, bringing your right arm over your left, crossing them in eagle arms, and then bringing your knees towards your chest. And then with your next exhale, start to lift the upper body towards your knees, inhaling down, exhaling, slightly lifting up. 2 more times in your own pacing. Then take a moment to rock up. Take a little bit of speed and you can roll through. Unraveling your leg. From here, bring your forearms onto the ground, interlacing your hands. Elbows are drawing into center. Then stepping back, finding your plank pose on your forearms. And then start to lift your right leg off the ground, sending the heel to the wall behind you. Bringing your right toes to the ground, same on the left side, sending the heel back, lengthening your heart forward. And then slowly coming down on your knees, and we meet in a Sphinx pose. Bringing your elbows under the shoulder joints. Send energy through your elbows and feel the soft rising in your chest. Allow your belly to soften into the ground along with your pubic bone. And just keeping a mild engagement in your core. Feeling where your body is touching the ground. And where you can potentially release some of the weight down into the earth. And then slowly releasing down onto the earth. Walking your arms alongside your body. Come onto your fingertips. And then start to lift your chest off the ground, elbows pulling slightly up so they're slightly bent. And you can lift your toes off the ground. Slowly lower down to the earth. Then coming through a child's pose, resting here in your child's pose. You can bring your knees to touch or wider apart. For most of us, it's nicer to use the knees together to find more release in the lower back. Take a deep inhale and exhale here. And then we're kneading in all four. Make sure that you have some space in front of you. Then walk your knees slightly wider apart, wider than you usually do, a little bit more than hip distance. Then keep your knee and hip in line while you walk forward with your arms and release the upper body towards the earth. Bringing the forehead on the ground if you can, and if not, keep it slightly lifted, that's also fine. Feeling again the stable ground underneath you. And then slowly start to walk yourself back to all four. From all four, draw your navel slightly in, neutral spine, and from your neutral spine, tapping your toes and sending yourself up and back, downward facing down. Keep a slight bend in your knees. Send energy out through your fingertips and see if you can lengthen through sending energy into your hands, lengthening through the sideline. Next, inhale to look forward, and on the exhale, start to step forward with your right foot. Then walk your left foot slightly forward and turn it to 11 o'clock if you would have a clock around your feet. And then keep a slight bend in your front knee and then come up halfway for a moment, or come up all the way. I think that's easier for now. Walking your right foot slightly to the side so your feet are hip distance apart. And then see that you square your hip first. So hip points are pointing forward. Keep a slight bend in the front knee and then start to tilt from your pelvis until you find this parallel spine. You can roll the shoulders away from your ears and also send your hands backwards. Again, feeling the engagement in your leg. And then interlace your hands in your back and allow upper body to surrender down. Bend your front knee as much as you need. And then slowly releasing your hands down to the earth. Planting your hands, stepping back into a downward facing dog. Take a moment to pause in your downward facing dog. And then we're switching to the other side, stepping your left leg forward. And then walking your left foot slightly to the side, your right foot slightly forward. Start to roll up through your spine. See that you square your hip point pointing forward. Slight bend in your front knee and then start to tilt from your pelvis. Come into this parallel spine, how high or low that is for you. Draw your thighs energetically together to center line. And then release upper body down for a moment. You can interlace your hands again in your back, or if you prefer, bringing your hands onto the ground. Whatever is providing this sense of stability for you that allows you to soften here. And then from here, slowly start to step back into your downward facing dog. Walk your feet mat distance apart. Toes are off the mat, heels on the mat. And then walk yourself up and back. And we're kneading in Malasana one more time. Squat pose. Again, as high as low is fine for you. Two more breath counts. You can again work with Mula Bandha. On the exhale, drawing pelvic floor slightly in. And then slowly start to come down. And then move a little bit back into our picture. And then come sitting on your heels for a moment. Bring your thumb and second finger to touch Dhyana Mudra and allow your hands to rest on your thighs. And then take a moment to just return to your breath. Dhyana Mudra is a grounding mudra, earth connection. Inhaling down the spine and exhale, sending the breath out into the earth, growing roots with every exhalation. Go 2 more rounds in your own pacing, every time inhaling down into your belly and exhale, growing stable roots into the earth. And then you're slowly moving into the next pose. You can release Dhyana Mudra. From here, start to bring your legs to the side and then bring them forward. And if you have a blanket, I recommend to take the blanket and come sitting on this blanket. Double fold it so you have this little tilt forward from your hip. And then we start bringing our right knee over the left. And they don't have to be in contact, but they should be in the same plane. And then bring your hands alongside your hip bones. And then start to lift your bum, lean forward and then release down. So we want to create some tilt forward. Lifting up, leaning forward and then coming back down. Then from here, start to pull the left toes towards you and then grow over both your sides bodies. So you're lengthening the upper body, but you also send energy through your leg down into the earth. Inhaling again down the spine, and with an exhale you can choose if you send the energy out into the earth. Or if you want to try again to work with Mula Bandha on the exhale, slightly drawing pelvic floor up and in. And after the next exhalation, you release your left toes and then bring your right foot onto the earth. And then we're moving into Ardha Matsyendrasana, so lengthening through the left side and turning to your knee to the right. And again, engaging your left toes and imagine that you draw your left leg back into your hip joint. So it's a slight movement. Feel the integration that can happen in your pelvic bone. With your legs slightly moving closer to the hip joint. Slowly coming back to center. Bring your hands behind your buttock. Walk your feet mat distance apart and we take some easy movement, allowing the knees to fall left and right. Most of the time we're not so much used to use all of the leg muscles, so it might feel a bit tiresome. And we're slowly moving back. Find the right position where you have this tilt forward. This time the right leg is forward and the left knee is over. You can use again this lifting your buttock off the ground, leaning forward and sitting back down. Engaging right toes and lengthening through the side bodies. Inhaling the full length down of your spine. Exhale out into the earth or engaging Mula Bandha, whatever works best for you. Go 2 more breath rounds on your own. Then allow your toes to relax. And then step your left foot onto the mat. From here, lengthening through the right side. And then turning towards the left. Engaging right toes. Pull the leg back into the hip joint. You might feel this integration that's happening in your root chakra. And returning for a moment to the breath. Maybe to your affirmation. You can quietly whisper it to yourself. And then we're slowly returning back to center. And I'll turn around so you have a better view. We're switching to extending the legs. So you could also shuffle yourself so that your heels are on the mat if you prefer that. Work again with a slight tilt forward. Let's start with an inhale to lengthen the arms towards the scalp, elbows slightly bent, shoulders are releasing down. Engaging your toes again. And then start to tilt from your hips slightly forward. For me, that's not much of a movement. Stay here for a moment. And then from here, start to bring your right elbow to the inside of your thigh and open the left arm to the side. Inhaling here. With an exhale, we're switching to the other side, left elbow to the inside of the thigh, opening. Take it one more time, each thigh. And then we are slowly coming back. From here, start to bring your legs together. And then we are slightly or slowly moving back onto the ground. Extend your legs forward. You can slightly tilt your pelvis left and right to find some release. Some shaking movement that can also reach into your legs and provide some ease after all this action. And then take a moment to rest here. Consciously feeling into your lower body part from the navel downwards. And for a moment, observe the sensation there. What temperature is there? Is there any other sensation like a tingling? And then prepare to move on. Stepping your feet consciously onto the mat. Feeling into the soles of your feet. Then walk your arms alongside your body. Press into the upper arm bones. We start again with a shoulder bridge. Drawing the navel in and start to lift the pelvis off the ground, finding the shoulder bridge. See that your ankles are directly under your knees, so you really have your legs as trunks of trees down into the earth. With an inhale, moving arms overhead. And with an exhale, start to roll through your spine down. One more time on an inhale, bringing arms overhead, create space from your root line up into your chest. And exhale, rolling down through your spine. From here, start to bring your right ankle below your left knee. So you're building a figure 4 with your leg. So it's reclined pigeon pose. And then start to bring your left knee in towards your chest until you feel a nice opening in your right outer hip. Allow your toes this time to stay soft. Connecting to your breath. And then slowly stepping your left foot onto the earth. Stepping right foot onto the earth. Allowing your knees to rest against each other. You can walk your feet mat distance apart to find some release in the lower back. And then let's slowly switch to the other side, walking your feet hip distance apart in. Left ankle below your right knee, figure 4, knees pointing out to the side. Bringing your right knee into your chest, allowing toes to stay soft. Full weight in your back, dropping into the earth. While there's a soft opening in your left outer hip. Slowly start to release your right foot down to the earth, followed by your left. Take a moment in constructive rest, feet hip distance apart or wider, knees resting against each other. Lower back, releasing down into the earth. Consciously feeling the heavy bony structure from your tailbone and your coccyx, releasing down into the earth. Then walking your feet in again to hip distance apart. And usually like to go into this pose from a restorative bridge with blocks under your sacrum, but we can try from here with extending one leg after the other to the sky. And if you want to, you can rock yourself up into your shoulders and walking the elbows slightly into center. If that's too much for you right now, you can simply stay in that butterfly resting on the ground, soles of your feet touching, and releasing your knees out to the side. And if you are in the shoulder stance, then feel the reversing of energy, how all this energy you started to create and to distribute in your legs is now shifting back into your system. And in yoga, we also call it the Amrit, the nectar of life that's flowing back from our root line into our system. And then very gently start to come back onto the ground. Take a moment to maybe take your knees into your chest if that feels good for your lower back. You can send your knees into your palms. That's releasing the lower back more into the ground as you're pressing the knees into your palms. And then slowly start to release onto your back and grab your blanket for Shavasana. And take a moment to create a comfortable place for yourself, kind of a little nest. Creating a space where you can trust, where you have the feeling of I belong. And before we shift into deep relaxation, I would like to do a short meditation with you. Start again to drop your awareness into your pelvic bowl. And if you want to, you can bring your hands on the top of your hip bones and your fingers pointing towards your pubic bone. Kind of a physical feeling of the pelvic bowl. And then directing your awareness down to the floor of the pelvic bowl, where we were practicing Mula Bandha, and imagine there a red triangle. With every inhale, guiding the breath into your belly, and with every exhale, pulling this energy in this red triangle. Red is the color of the root chakra, as well as the shape of this little square. Inhaling softly into your belly, and exhale, imagining this red square pulling the energy in the square. Inhaling down the spine softly into your belly, and exhale, pulling it in the red triangle square. You want to, you can add the seed sound for the root chakra, which is lam. So you can quietly whisper to yourself, lam, 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 lam. And then let the image of the red square go, let Mula Bandha go. All the attention on the breath, and drop into stillness. And allowing the root chakra to be balanced through the prana, the energy that's still circulating in your body while you rest. Trusting in your body's ability to create balance, to take care for the basic needs. Trusting that from a centered place you can move out into the world, trusting into your own decisions, into your own action. Allowing the body parts to soften onto the stable earth underneath you. Feeling the stability of the ground underneath you. See if you can rest your awareness and presence in your body. And that's the very basic idea of the root chakra, connecting to this primal force. Staying in connection with the body instead of diverting all the energy to the headspace. And allowing yourself to rest in this little nest you just created. Allowing yourself this feeling of I belong. Every time you notice that your mind was wandering off, make the conscious decision to bring your awareness back to the weight of your body on the ground, dropping back into the sanctuary of your body. And very gently start to deepen your breath. Slowly waking you up from inside, breath by breath. And allowing your head to roll heavy as a stone from one side, slowly over center to the other side. Hold one more time to each side in your own pacing. Feeling a soft stimulation of the muscles along the neck. From here you can start to wiggle your fingers, your toes. Once you feel complete, you can take a nice big stretch overhead. And then in your own pacing, roll over onto one body side. Take this moment on your side, integrating your practice, the practice that was wholly dedicated to the root chakra, allowing the body wisdom to collect anything that was valuable for you. And then softly bringing your hands onto the ground and guiding yourself up to a seated pose. Take a moment to arrive and maybe keeping your eyes closed so you can stay a little bit more with this internal quality of grounding. And take a moment to consciously feel into your sit bones. Feel the heaviness of your hips rooting down into the earth. And then from here, travel up the spine. And from the heavier body parts, moving in the body parts that feel a little bit lighter, spacier, moving towards the sky. In a very way, we start with the root chakra, with the physical matter in our body. And the more we move up along the spine, through the chakras, it's more about spiritual enlightenment, so very different qualities. Then take a moment to open your arms wide to the side as if you open wings. With an inhale, guiding them overhead. On an exhale, slowly bring them back to your heart. Inhale, open your arms wide, moving them overhead. Exhale, bring them back to your heart. Let's take one more round. Inhale, open them up, spread fingers wide. And on an exhale, allow everything to come back to your heart. Then bowing your head forward. Building a union between body, mind, and heart. In the spirit, namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you very much. That was our first chakra along the way, root chakra. I know it's really tough for the leg muscles. I'm pretty sure you will feel it tomorrow. But thank you for joining.